Adam Aceto, everybody. Welcome, everybody. It's become a tradition now. How many years have we been doing this? It's like 6 years where we do Super Silent Sunday, and so it's amazing to see such a wonderful turnout. I need to thank Cox Communications for making this a free screening, and also, also I want to thank the Santa Barbara Organ Society for maintaining this beautiful organ. And thank you, Adam, for playing Babyface for me. I said, was that meant for me? It's like, yeah. He goes, yeah, it's for me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm blushing. Anyway, every year we pick, for the past 6 years, I think, we've picked Douglas Fairbanks Jr. I'm the biggest Douglas Fairbanks Jr. fan there is. And this year, Adam wanted a different type of movie, a comedy, a Buster Keaton, and at the end, I prevailed. We're showing Robin Hood and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. So I'm going to leave you in good hands. He can talk more about the film that I forced you to do. So go ahead and guys, enjoy.
Thanks, Roger. Hi everybody, yes, my name is Adam Aceto. I'm the staff organist here, sponsored by the Santa Barbara Theater Organ Society here at the Arlington Theater. Yeah, as Roger said, he picks the movies and I'm just the mere accompanist. So after 6 years of dramas, I did say, well, maybe a comedy is in order, but I think he picked, as he always has, quite wisely. I think you'll really enjoy this movie. I learned a lot myself. This was the movie that opened the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, the very first movie ever shown there in a theater that still stands. It was the first movie that had an official Hollywood premiere, which is also quite interesting. Douglas Fairbanks does his usual best, and the sets and extras in this film are both gargantuan in scale. There are literally thousands of extras in some of these scenes and sets that without computers, it's amazing what they created. There's one scene in particular where you will see a castle and Douglas Fairbanks climbing, and his silhouette is so dwarfed by this set, you can finally get a sense of how enormous these productions really were. So it's a pleasure to be able to accompany it for you today. A little bit about the organ, just because I know many of you are interested in that as well. This organ was built in Van Nuys, California in 1928 for the Lowe's Jersey City, a theater that's still there today. The theater had fallen into disrepair in the late 70s, and the organ was saved and brought to Dallas, Texas, another chapter of the American Theater Organ Society, and kept in safekeeping and never installed. Then a trade was made in 1986, and it moved from Dallas to Santa Barbara under the condition that in less than 2 years it would be up and playing. So in 1988 it was installed in this theater with the thousands and thousands of hours of many volunteers, and now resides here today. I will tell you one little story. I have been physically to play at the Lowe's Jersey City, and they have now a new organ in that place, and when I went to give a concert there, the first question they said was, "Can we have our organ back?" I said no. Yeah. So it's very happy. It's very happy here. It's lovingly maintained by a group of volunteers, and I would be remiss not to please invite all of you. The Santa Barbara Theater Organ Society is always open to members. There are meetings practically every month here to just come and listen to the organ. You don't have to be a player. And really is thanks to them and with the help of Karen here at the theater and Mike and the Santa Barbara Film Festival that we're able to keep this instrument alive and going. So yeah, it's my pleasure to play for you today the score for Robin Hood. This is based. People ask me how I do this. I basically will improvise this score for you based on some musical themes. Where do you get these musical themes? The themes I've picked for you today come from the original score for the 1922 orchestral parts, that this would have been accompanied by orchestra at the premiere. That being said, I've made my own rendition of this score. That score, however, came from a very popular, and this is not even quite known by film aficionados, that came from an 1891 American operetta by Reginald de Koven called Robin Hood. You'll hear the tune, "Oh Promise Me." It was a famous wedding song for years and years. That actually came from that operetta, so I'm going to include that for you today. And it was Robin Hood, the operetta, of 1891, that was the first musical ever licensed for a high school production in 1941, which is another interesting little tidbit that wraps all of this together. So based on the de Koven themes through Victor Schlesinger's score, here is my interpretation of the 1922 Douglas Fairbanks film, Robin Hood.